Perhaps the longest struggle, finding a vaccine for HIV, has been a nightmare to scientists as trials continue. But when the Covid-19 vaccine was developed in a short period of time, people started to ask questions like, why can't scientists use the same technology used in the Covid-19 vaccine to develop an HIV vaccine? One of Uganda's top virologists, also the executive director of Uganda Virus Research Institute, Professor Pontiano Kalebu, explains.
SARS-CoV-2. And I give an example. For many people who get SARS-CoV-2 infection, they recover. In fact, those who go on to have disease and all that are fewer. And the disease is mostly because of the immunology. But the virus is cleared in the body. It's an acute infection. So there's a mechanism of clearing the virus from the body using our immune system. And that's what the vaccine is doing, to mimic or to do what nature does. But for HIV, everyone who gets infected with HIV goes down with the disease. The body is not able to eliminate the virus. So up to now, we don't completely understand what is the protective immune response for HIV. That's a complication. For SARS-CoV-2, in fact, people get infected with SARS-CoV-2, reinfection is rare. You get protected. It's rare. But in HIV, we even get people who get reinfected. The virus of HIV hides in our cells, and it's a chronic disease. And then when we look at the variability, HIV changes so much. The variability of HIV compared to SARS-CoV-2 is a lot. I know we're hearing about variants in SARS-CoV-2, but in HIV, it's even, if I get two viruses, I check somebody who's infected with HIV, not two viruses will be the same. It changes so much. So we don't fully understand what will be the protection and what mechanisms to use. In fact, a lot of what has been used in SARS-CoV-2, the technology, has existed before. Whatever has been used, although some we can't use it for HIV.
When you look at HIV and the attraction towards the DNA, that it will not be the same attraction that COVID-19 has. So in that particular form, their variances in mutation are also different. It's not the same way. And even where the transmission happens, with COVID-19, they will tell you, wash your hands. They will tell you, use the sanitizers. For HIV, the issue is different. This one links so close with the blood. Well, for COVID-19, you don't need to link it close with the blood. So the science is a little bit contrary, and it's easier to get the vaccine for that kind of virus that you know it attacks this particular part of the body than a virus that attacks the entire system of the body.
According to Professor Pontiano Kalebu, the investment in HIV vaccine development has also been limited.
The amount of money that has been put into SARS-CoV-2 vaccine development is enormous. It's a fraction, a small fraction of what has been put in HIV. So the whole world mobilized, put together funds. Then there's collaboration. Everyone was collaborating, every scientist. It hit the world, suddenly, and everyone came together, working together. You heard of Operation Warp Speed in the US, where government was working with industry, the public and the private to come and solve. And then they used, actually, like for the Moderna and many of these vaccines, they used the same platforms, the technology that has been developed.
However, as the struggle continues to find a vaccine for HIV, Uganda is credited for her contribution in HIV vaccine trials.
Uganda was the first country in Africa to participate in an HIV vaccine trial in the late 1990s. I was part of that study team. The trial was done at JCRC in Kampala, and some of the lab work was done here. And then we have participated in many vaccine trials. We don't have a vaccine, but these vaccine trials do help to advance. You know what works and what doesn't work. So we have made a lot of contribution. That opened up other countries to do vaccine trials. At that time, it was not easy.
According to Uganda Virus Research Institute, the HIV viruses in Uganda are subtype B and subtype D, and the studies have shown that subtype D progresses very fast, Fortunately, they all respond to the current HIV treatment. Adiana Kuti, UBC.